Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Industries Live. It is so exciting to be back with you again. Just my favorite time of the month. I love our opportunity to talk to lots of our interesting partners about what they're seeing in the world. It's a very exciting week. It is New York Summit Week, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. My name is Michael Schmidt. I'm coming to you live from Seattle, Washington. The sun is out. It is summer in Seattle, and it's a wonderful time. Everybody's smiling. I've got to tell you, everybody's definitely got a spring in their step this week. Very, very excited to talk to a couple of interesting partners today. We're going to start with LTIMindtree, but let's talk a little bit about, if it's your first time, Industries Live. I hope you enjoy what we have in store for you today. Industries Live is our twice a month show where we spend time with our partners talking about what they're seeing in the business, what they're seeing in the industry, how their industry and their business is changing. And I love it because it's just such a fascinating and intimate discussion to talk about, our customers' business. Just to introduce myself, my name is Michael Schmidt. I look after the Industry and Partner Solutions Center of Excellence, based here in Seattle, but we're a global team. We work very closely with our partners to help ultimately make them successful on AWS. But specifically what we do is work with industry partners who really focus with those industry customers on workloads that are specific to those industries. We're a highly specialized team, and what the most interesting part of my job is I get to see how customers and partners are using AWS in different ways and in very applied ways in every day, and how they're really impacting and influencing and disrupting industries, which is super fun. Today we're talking about financial services, and one of my favorites, one of the biggest, one of the best, one of the oldest, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what we're seeing from LTIMindtree and what they're seeing in their business right now. I'm going to introduce my co-host, Addy Dubhashi. Addy, how are you? Are you excited? It's New York Summit Week. It's hard not to be excited, right?
I am so excited. So great to be back on Industries Live. This is best time of the month because we get a chance to get our partners to talk about their industry solutions and how they're solving for our customers' needs. I'm Addy Dubhashi. I lead the financial services industry solutions with our partners. And so my team focuses on building those unique industry solutions that would solve for a line of business challenge, whether it's capital markets, banking, payments, or insurance. And we make it really easy for our customers to get started or do the right assessments and then migrate or modernize seamlessly to AWS. So one of the main topics that we're excited about is how our customers are transforming their core systems, their deep intrinsic workflows that have been set up for a number of years. And with Gen AI coming, you're going to see a rapid shift here, whether it's all the way up into the agentic AI or just about the right data controls for entitlement and data residency. So I'm really excited to cover some of these topics today, and it's an opportune time because we're at the New York Summit this week. I'm in New York City. The weather's perfect, a little warm here, but we're really excited about that energy because today we have the Partner Summit where you have a number of our partners getting that intimate time with our sellers and account teams and AWS leadership, understanding our programs and investments. But tomorrow, we have over 25,000 of our customers coming together with our AWS teams at the Chava Center in New York. So it's going to be a fantastic week with a ton of announcements coming up.
What a cozy group that's going to be. 25,000 people all talking about interesting industry things. Lots of announcements coming this week, Addy. I think people can be excited about new things that are coming. We saw some announcements from our CEO yesterday, but yeah, lots of new product and new feature announcements this week, which is always an exciting thing about New York Summer Week.
Absolutely, must log in, must watch for sure live.
Indeed. All right. Well, we'll bring in our partner. So LTIMindtree needs no introduction. They're a very well-known partner if you're in the financial services space. Welcome, Prakash. We're so excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for making the time and joining us here on the show. Tell me, Prakash, perhaps why don't we start? Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell me about Prakash. What's your background and how did you get to be here?
Sure. Thank you, Michael, Addy, for having me here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Prakash Chava. I'm the Chief Business Officer for Insurance Markets at LTIMindtree. I've been here about 4 years. By the way, I'm joining from Chicago, and the weather is great out there. We can compete on that today.
Seems like a theme. The weather's pretty good across the United States right now. I know it's not perfect everywhere. If you're in the southern hemisphere right now, from what I hear, the weather's terrible. But like in North America, good weather this week at least.
Right now. Right. So, like in my role, I'm responsible for overall business unit strategy and growth and customer relationship. I've been doing this all my professional life, right? I introduce myself as I'm a one-trick pony. All I do is consulting services, IT transformation with insurance carriers and intermediaries. I've been doing this for 25 plus years, and glad to be here. Michael and Addy, share some of the things that what we are seeing, what our customers are asking for, what we are doing, and especially in partnership with AWS and some of the three-way partners we have.
Absolutely. I think, I remember when we first met with the LTIMindtree team a few years ago, and something that's deeply intrinsic to both the LTI and Mindtree organizations as they became one is that strong engineering background. You've really invested in your competencies. You've taken that deep understanding of technical knowledge, cloud, the understanding of elasticity, scale, resiliency that the cloud brings, but transforming that into those business use cases that customers ask for. And you've gotten those competencies. So LTI is a financial services competency partner. And so when we think about our consulting and technology partners, it's that distinguishing factor that you have that's been proven out with the right customer references, where you've solved those problems, done it regionally, done it at a global scale, and then understanding those numerous regulations that map to some of the common challenges our customers in insurance face. So really keen and excited to dive into those topics with you, Prakash, and curious about some of the trends that you're hearing from customers today.
Oh, certainly, Addy, and thank you. That's probably the one of the short and sweet way of describing what LTIMindtree has been differentiating in the market. You're absolutely right. We've been partnered with AWS in about 12 competencies, financial services including. Just if someone doesn't know much details about us, as a digital technology consulting partner, we've been working across the industries, right? We've been working with close to 700 odd clients. The expertise that truly differentiated us, like Addy mentioned, is our focus and investments into core engineering capability, right? That overlaid with the industry verticalized focus has helped us to be very relevant to that particular client group. Like I said, in my role, me and my team, we work with insurance carriers, right? Over 70 of them, and majority of the times they're, like I was referring to, there's a three-way conversations, a lot of core systems like Guidewire, AWS being the hyperscaler, we work together very well. I mean, if you haven't seen, we have in AWS marketplace some technology driven as well as financial services accelerators that we have there, about 8 of them, I think. But coming back to your question, Addy, if I may take a minute, right? See, insurance in particular, they are kind of in a, I would say, volatile time. A lot of macro points, right? There's mixed with inflation, insurance rates, so confidence is a bit shaky, right? But they're also facing some decline in rates, right? But what does it mean for players like us? It truly an opportunity to help our customers really excel in this space. If I kind of split that into two aspects, how the carriers are really looking at it is really to find ways to win the business in these conditions, right? And win the right business, right? And they need to be able to understand the risk better. They need to be able to go quicker, and all this is possible if they're able to get real-time quotes and overall ability to close it. But that's on the growth side. But on the efficiency side, the core changes, core transformation of the systems and overlaid with AI is certainly is going to drive their efficiency part, because they need both to fight there. So a lot of this, and you alluded to there, a lot of our customers started or already completed the true platform replacement, right? The flexibility that was not there, and the customer experience challenges, whether it's policy, billing, claims, when they are anchored down to a legacy system, really, starting to get addressed, right? And like we were talking about, I touched upon Guidewire as one of the examples. There are many ISVs, whether they're using one of the platforms on, sitting on AWS, or truly building a cloud native platform, right? If you are talking in PNC, you see a lot more ISVs, but as you go into life and annuities, we are seeing much more, custom built, new stack, built applications on AWS that we are seeing. But what I wanted to share is with you, Addy, is it's beyond that platform change. It's really how the carriers are able to use the ecosystem that's available to them. The moment they are on a much better compute, like an AWS platform, how best they're able to use the native capabilities, and the things that bring the business, like we were talking about, the data, the real-time data that is needed for taking the right decisions. There are multitude of solutions, whether it is custom built for a particular ISV or a native solution on AWS. I think that ecosystem is what clients are truly betting on, and we are working with, and partners like AWS is absolutely front and center of it.
Prakash, I completely agree with you. I think one of the things I was just about to go there actually. And I think one of the things that, you talk about, which I think is super valuable for customers, is really the power of three and your ability as a partner to sort of bring the best of the industry to them. Having a sort of deep relationship with your client, knowing their business well and knowing what they need, and bringing, like you said, the best of the best to the table. You have a lot of great industry partners with more financial services, ISVs, and other partners. Yeah, perhaps tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, certainly. So I was just finishing that thought on even see the productivity, SDLC productivity, the AI implementation when you're doing especially these large modernization is key as well, right? So quickly, to your point, when we are building these, right, like I was telling, is it just ends with replacing a legacy system? I would call it just end up a beginning, right? The way we have seen, like I was referring to, establish that capabilities, practices, as the ISVs are becoming more prevailing. It all started much before the AI capability explosion, and partners like AWS, we started very early with you, focused innovation, focused investments towards building that capability, and the fundamental investment into our data and AI data analytics capability. So it all brought us to a point wherein we are in a position to be able to offer customers what we call is a Blueverse, right? Blueverse is an AI ecosystem that is truly helping customers in terms of capitalizing on agentic AI processing. So Addy touched upon this. The fundamental need for able to utilize all structured and unstructured data, right? Having a fabric, a knowledge graph connecting all the information to be able to provide the explainability and the trust into the agentic layer. That is the key. That is where I think the three-way conversation we're talking about would be the key differentiator for us as a partner in the market. Yep. But I do want to encourage you to view that Blueverse page on our website. We wanted to bring that AI foundry, especially all of us agree, building all these things logged into a particular tool technology will make us outdated maybe in a month, right? The speed at which the things are changing. So giving our customers that flexibility to be able to confidently invest into something today and able to easily plug and play into the future, but more importantly create those systems of action, right? All of us have seen building systems of records for decades and then moved into, okay, we got to focus on systems of engagement. But today's ask, today's differentiation is really building those systems of action that are trustworthy, that are truly using the compute capabilities, that truly using the data that's available for the carriers.
Yep.
So that I think is going to be the big differentiation, and the carriers and intermediates are looking for.
And I'm really interested in this topic because I've read a fascinating report that was published by BCG about this, which is when you look at the insurance industry, one of the best opportunities to engage your customers is often when they've gone through a satisfactory and a smooth claims process. And so when they come back, rather than creating an entire campaign building up to how you may like to position and target that customer to purchase a new insurance policy or an extension, the right time is, interestingly, at that point of a satisfied customer post a claims process. And this is exactly where the systems have to all join up. When you have a system like Guidewire where this entire claims process is flowing, you need to have that integrated with your contact center, which is on Amazon Connect. And so when you're solving a challenge like this and you can see that the customer's experience is satisfactory, their CSAT score is smooth, the conversation is closing out, it's the opportune time to say, hey, now that we've helped you with your current ticket, how does it look for you when you're thinking of your comprehensive insurance plan? And so it's the core system and its resolution workflows that are also integrating with the customer experience, something that's not been done before. And so being that integrator at the heart of this change is so important. Imagine with agentic, we're just going to go a lot faster. And I happen to be just this morning at the announcement of Anthropic's financial services modules that are going to be available on AWS Marketplace. And now that's massive, which is you can now imagine when a customer is thinking about agentic, they're not simply coming at the problem with, I need to begin the journey to build. What they're going to take off from is, hey, I have that Guidewire platform I've been using. That's something I'm modernizing already onto AWS, which is proven and a pattern that's successful. I'm using that contact center where I'm able to trace revenue and business impact because of the smooth workflow interconnectivity with the contact center. And now with that agentic layer, you're going to get that right advice at the right time, both at the claims agent level, but also at the contact center level, making that entire experience just orchestrated so much more smoothly with agents. So really exciting times here coming up for us on the insurance sector, a sector historically that's just been so conservative, but leaping forward at this time is something that's spectacular to observe.
And I agree with you more on that. That ecosystem play is what is important. See, we have, I call myself an insurance guy. Okay, that's all I know. We have always compared with ourselves as, hey, how retail industry is doing this n equals to 1, personalization, and that is happening now, right? You took a lot of examples of how all these capabilities are coming together. That is absolutely happening. See, customers have looked at some of the most problematic ones, right? If I take one example, we created an enterprise analytics AI agent, right? This was on Amazon Bedrock, right? It actually significantly enhanced their underwriting efficiency because that's the space where traditionally we were dependent on somebody who was very highly experienced, had a lot more tribal knowledge than having being able to utilize all the information. You took the example of, did we have a great experience with the recent claim situation with this customer? Do they have a life event that actually drives them towards a particular product, right? So that is on one side in terms of customization. And the other one, we always obviously have done extreme automation and customer experience focus in a personal lines that put through during the sales process, get a quote, bind it easy, but that went into small commercial. Now I'm seeing the same because of the availability of technology. I'm seeing in the lower middle market as well. So we are getting to a point where insurance may not be as conservative as it has always been, able to utilize. See, the ability to have that real-time data, especially those integrations that you are talking about because of the foundation, AWS, Guidewire and AWS and all the other solutions you referred to, ability to have access the data and the right data and being able to put the trust and the explainability into the actions taken by the agentic layer. I think that is the game changer. That is where consulting companies like us, AWS, ISVs like Guidewire and others, we are all converging to the true point of what industry has always been asking, right? How do I serve my customer just at the right time with the right messaging, right offering, so to say. So that is a great opportunity right now, especially with the agentic AI process.
I was wondering, Prakash, again, I get a lot of customers and partners coming to me talking about, okay, what does AI powered modernization mean? How do I get started? Where, what does this really look like through the customer's lens? I'm wondering if you could share, I don't know whether you maybe have a customer story where you can talk about, really end to end what that looked like, right from the beginning. Because again, often at the beginning of a great modernization story, and particularly a modernization story powered by AI, if you like, customers don't necessarily know what they want. They kind of know where they want to get, but tell me about how you've worked through that with a customer, perhaps.
Absolutely, I can refer. See, the legacy systems that we all refer to, right? They did what they're supposed to do for decades together, right? Because of the volume of transaction, it made a lot of sense, right? But when a customer is looking at, I want to take this example where they have a massive mainframe footprint, and obviously so complex data access, and more importantly the business logic, right? So for them, right, if I look from their business and operations perspective, it got to simplify many things for their workforce, many things for their end customer. But if you distill down to technology teams and the solutions, we are now talking about easy integrations, easy and clean data, dependable information. So that is the first starting point. Most clients ask a question about, hey, I don't have time and the manpower and the tribal knowledge of my legacy system that I need to start with. So that's where we truly are seeing, or in this client case, where we used a lot of AI-based reverse engineering and forward engineering to truly, create what the system has been doing, and simplify that, right? And get it into, like I said, it's a lot more AWS serverless architecture. It came to the need, right? That used to be really anchoring down to really understand what's going on, recreate the system before these capabilities has eased out. So you're now much more focused on, okay, I know what is the requirement is. I really want to overlay what can I do to make it significantly simpler for my workforce, right? If we don't bring the operations team and the technology team together, and truly, to the point I was making earlier, create systems of actions that should be done automatically, the human intervention much more simpler, and all the other stuff, automation, consumption capabilities, those are the things that make this transformation much more simpler compared to what it was. And the last but not least, right, along the way, this is an opportunity to client to get away from some of those heavy licensing costs to get to modernization from all aspects, right? How they want to do business, how the operations is using system, how much of the system is really automated. In this example, we have done this for a customer in retirement space, where moving away from mainframe was a complex, long process for them.
Yep. And I think you're kind of reminding me, Prakash, of the 1 + 1 = 3 effects of some of these partnerships, right? An example that came to my mind was very similar. When a customer is thinking about their modernization, they're also thinking about those core risk models of actuarial modeling, catastrophe modeling. And just about 8 to 10 years ago, this was a highly scheduled process. An organization would need to go through that assessment, and that would take weeks, if not months, before you could get your entire catastrophe model fully mapped out to the needs of what a quote might be to a customer. Mm-hmm. And so if Starbucks, came to assess their policy for catastrophe, they have 80,000 branches. How do you do this? And that would be a month worth of assessments followed by proposals and a compilation that then goes to an end customer on a quote. Now that's dramatically changing in a cloud-first world. You're seeing customers leverage data sources like Verisk, which is a trusted partner on AWS and on AWS Marketplace, and they're bringing in catastrophe modeling data of over 100 years of earthquakes, weather patterns, and that data set is directly available in a streaming path for customers. But that combines with a modern core system that's able to spin up that particular risk model and spin up the grid and compute workloads to assess that scenario. Now, we see weather changing all the time. We're hearing of massive earthquakes and turbulence that would pop up at coastal lines. And that data now needs to be dynamic. And so we're not only modernizing the system itself, we have to analyze that data in a more streaming path. And our data providers in insurance are getting there. Our cloud and marketplace is fully able to scale to those needs of compute. And as you called out, Prakash, it's the core systems that are modernizing to get more real-time quotes as well. But I think this is exactly where the LTI capabilities and specialization kind of pan out and help customers at scale.
Yep, absolutely. If I may add a little bit there, right? Absolutely, all the modeling and like you were referring to, the capability of compute is significant, right? But we are seeing to my point about how the automation is creeping up into the complex part of the insurance, right? Personal to small commercial to mid markets. I wish we can do a straight through processing for a large commercial case like you took in Starbucks, and it's not distant reality, right? So all the intake automation, all the capabilities in that space have been adding to some of these capabilities that have been long strived for by carriers. And underwriting has been the most complex and toughest for the large commercial space.
Awesome. Prakash, we're getting towards the end of our time together, but I just wanted to just 30 seconds. I'm a customer, I'm a client listening in, and I'm interested in just a couple of quick pointers from you in terms of, like, I'm thinking about modernization, AI-powered modernization. What are the top 2 or 3 things I need to take away to think about to move forward quickly and be ahead of the game? From your perspective, just give us the top 2 or 3 things they need to be thinking about.
No, absolutely. See, like you rightly said, some of them are thinking, some of them midway in terms of just the core platform, right? See, I think we have to look at it from a more ecosystem and holistic aspect. One thing that I'm observing and recommending my customers is really lead from top in terms of the how do I create that agentic AI process layer, right? That is truly addressing the insurance business processes that obviously needs a strong core system and ecosystem of technology solutions, and sitting on a foundational layer and all the knowledge, especially in insurance world, we have so much of unstructured information, right? So if I were thinking of a core modernization, that includes all 3 layers. Are we doing the right things about being able to make that information available and putting the right core platform and the corresponding interconnected ecosystem players, and on top of it, truly capitalizing on the agentic AI process capability and build that intelligence to the process, where we are truly focusing on Addy's point that it is personalized, it is n equals to 1 for them. Right? That's the key
Awesome.
thing I want to share.
Thank you so much, Prakash. It has been time has gone quickly. We're at time, but it has been wonderful to spend time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We have another episode coming up in just a few moments, so please hang around. We're going to flash up the QR code now so that you can provide feedback and let us know what you think. Please remember, we're back here every second Tuesday, and please register so that we are able to get to you. There you go. The link's on the screen. Thank you so much for dedicating your time with us this morning. Again, hang around with just 30 seconds. We'll be back with the second part of our morning. Thanks again, Prakash. Great to have you here.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having me.
Addy, and we'll see you shortly.